went up there and said, I've been threatened with arrest. If I tell you what I know, here's a letter from the Justice Department. All I can tell you is the Bushes vacation with the Bin Ladens. How many of you know that the supposed hijackers, it turned out 7 of them are still alive? That's the BBC. So there we were in New York just wanting to talk to Michael Moore and ask him, why didn't you talk about these really important issues, these central issues? And in between his bodyguards...
is one day going to be inevitable, that we're going to have something that's indistinguishable from regular reality. It seems like people are like longing towards some weird log cabin type nostalgia.
Reality.
Yeah, like holding on, like clinging, just dragging their nails through the mud, like don't take me yet.
And the World Wide Web only gives us the illusion of being present, but the reality is
coming over and shoving on us and telling us not to videotape him through the window, we began to realize that Michael Moore really does George Bush a favor. In his film, he acts like Bush is just some idiot who accidentally allowed 9/11 to happen because he was on too many vacations, out fishing too much. Oh no, that wasn't the reality. The reality is...
we're only in our homes connecting to a digital space. So that presence is an illusion. And once we get to a point of augmented and virtual reality, well, that just takes the phrase spirit of slumber to a whole new unprecedented level.
And so once you...
Bush and his corporate interest stood to gain from 9/11. Right there. And Michael Moore is covering up those facts.
You don't want to let him eat, and once he eats, you can take a picture. Do you like your phone ringing when you're eating dinner?
I'm not calling it.
Connected the targeted individual with the frequency, and they resonate together, then you have a perfect avenue upon which to send and receive information back and forth. And that's exactly how they manipulate someone's thoughts. They send voices into someone's head. They manipulate their emotions. They manipulate their behavior. And
in reality, Mr. Moore had just completed his photo op for just a few minutes, marching at the head of the parade with other genuine establishment libs like Jesse Jackson. Then he ducked into the taco bar, had the general public thrown out, and began, well, gobbling.
then that's also how they receive back from the individual in real time the vital signs, the emotions, the thoughts, what the person's seeing, what the person's hearing, and then all that information, of course, is rendered on a computer elsewhere.
And I wonder what he was thinking while he was eating. Man, are they going to catch on to me as the hours went by? Are they going to find out that I'm really a fake and a corporate shill that flies around in a corporate jet? All those years I chased the corporate bigwigs around and was thrown out of office buildings and stood outside restaurants.
Via software, and it can be monitored and tracked in real time. it can literally stop your own thoughts from happening and replace them with other thoughts by sending thoughts to your head. And it's so sophisticated that you cannot tell where these thoughts are coming from. There's no way to discern that they're coming from somewhere other than your own.
And now I've become what I always said I hated. Or maybe I was always what I claimed I hated. Yes, Mr. Moore, we have nothing against you, but you made a film where you claim that you exposed George Bush. You gave him aid and comfort. You covered up the reality.
Own minds. So you can imagine how bad this would be for people that don't even realize this technology exists, and they're having these thoughts which they think are spontaneous, because being under the influence of this technology now, kind of having been on both sides of it, I am just amazed at the way it works.
Of premeditated involvement in 9/11 and played into that popular little folky image of Bush the idiot elf. Bush is a puppet for a hardcore global crime syndicate setting up a world government and turning America into a high-tech...
And I know that the thoughts that they beam into your head originate from the exact same place in your mind that your own natural thoughts originate from. So if I didn't know I was under the influence of this technology, then I would have no idea that anyone was influencing my thoughts at all. And that's exactly what it can be used for. It could...
police state. But I guess though it won't matter to people like you. You'll have a fake war to fight, while all the time you're truly covering up the real political paradigm.
Big paper and all with Norwegian business there.
Did he already sneak out?
He's not.
Out that way?
He's gone.
How many bodyguards does Michael Moore have?
I can say.
Be used to sway people in terms of their opinion, to make them go along with a certain agenda. It can be used to turn groups of people or individuals against each other for whatever purpose.
I'm a former naval officer. I'm a graduate of the United States Naval Academy. I have a degree in control systems engineering. I worked as a surface warfare officer in electronics warfare.
Hey, Michael, why don't you talk about NORAD standing down? Why don't you talk about...
and nuclear engineering jobs. While I was in the service, I found out there's an ongoing, non-consensual human experiment, and it's testing a human-machine interface weapon.
Now, did you stumble upon this? Were you privy to it?
Yeah, it was an issue where I think it was the next next level up in the chain of command. You know, if there's
NORAD standing down, Michael. Why not the really hardcore 9/11 issues? Michael Moore and the controlled opposition like him may be afraid to even scratch the surface of 9/11, but we're not. We're going to go to the rock bottom of this horrible event and expose who truly perpetrated it, because the future of America and free humanity hangs...
3 or 4 jobs you could take. There was a couple of them where you might be read into this program. And so we've got this issue here where we have a non-consensual experiment with a group of American citizens, and these, some former military, but a lot of just unsuspecting citizens.
In the balance.
My name is Greg Palast. I report for BBC Television. I was a writer for the Guardian newspapers, the main paper of Europe. The way they're covering protests here, let's see, there's a picture in the New York Times of...
It's a group of people here in the United States. They're calling themselves targeted individuals, and it's people from all walks of life, and a lot of it's people who can't fight back. It seems like predominantly the folks we talk to on the calls are.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Stop